Yo everyone, what's going on, and welcome to another Simboard Story. I think is what we're calling these. It's like an onboard story, but from the sim world. And this one, again, from AMS2. This is a lesson in making sure you've got the right tyre pressures. Even if, like this race, it was just a random lobby jumping. Because it was just this compound of problems, not having the right tyre pressures, the right tyre temperature, and I think it probably hindered me from getting a pretty decent result here at Bathurst. So we're at Bathurst in the Brazilian stock cars. It's a staple of AMS2, really good combo, and these cars just they're a lot of finesse to drive, they take a lot of management, and I really enjoy it. So let's jump on board and get into the action. Okay, so we're going to dump the clutch at the start, and we got an okay start, but going into turn one, I was a little box on the inside, and as soon as I braked, I noticed that the tyres are super cold. I was like, alright, noted. This game's quite notorious for the kind of cold tyres. They do take a lap or so to come in, but you really notice the lack of grip. So my first wake-up call was into turn one. As soon as you hit the brakes, you just get that feeling, the way you're decelerating compared to everybody else. Under a bit of pressure into turn two, and again, just go a little deep because nothing's up to temperature yet, and I'm like, okay, right, now we know everything's cold. Let's just bring everything up to temperature and not do anything stupid. So starting to dial back from where I've been braking and stuff in qualifying. And these cars are, it doesn't look much, but yeah, it's trying to swap ends on you all the time. Again, going through it, just running wide, not as much grip as there once was, and you really have to adjust, because especially around Bathurst. I mean, you see how close the walls are, and offline, you're on it, you're on the dirt, you get dragged, and this guy just drops it on the exit into this is Skyway, is that what it's called? And I managed to get past him, and that's wake-up call number two. Is like, okay, tyres are cold, it's Bathurst, anything can happen, and let's not do that. So starting to dial everything back and just want to settle in. It was only a short race, I think like 20 minutes, if that, around here. So not a super endurance or anything, but still, just bide your time. Even in a short race, doing something like that can really ruin your chances of anything. And I think at this point I am up to P3. I think that's 1 and 2 up the road, and I'm kind of excited. I mean, I was there or thereabouts in qualifying. I think it's about a second off pole, which normally I'm 2.5, and then this is where the Texaco car spins out. I think I did a bit of contact, then the red car went for a look up the inside. Not too sure, but now I'm second. So now I'm going, okay, right, here we go. Second place, bring everything up to temperature, and let's chase this guy down. Little did I know that I botched the tyre pressures. I don't know if I'd accidentally loaded a setup or if the pressures were set from a previous race we'd had, but this was sort of the state of my tyres after 3 laps, and they only got worse from that first lap. Everything's cold, fine. Started to bring the temperatures up, and then they just hit this point where they would go no higher, and then after that, after about the first half a lap, they just continued to get colder, and you see me just battling with the rear end through turn 2, and that kind of, it's that feeling that you get on the first lap of the cold tyres, and there's just not enough grip, and you got to be a little bit more careful on the throttle, and it's just every corner. Look at this, I mean, just huge moments. Now I'm completely off throttle, just trying to get it to an apex, and this is where I'm like, it's this compound of problems, and every corner you come to now, I'm just terrified. What kind of grip am I going to have on entry, on mid corner, on exit? You're just questioning everything, and try as I might, I just can't get the temperature. And that could be a case of I got the pressures wrong. Perhaps if the setup I had was in warmer conditions, I got the brake ducts open, something, so there's just more cool air coming into the brakes. That's cooling everything down, and the tyres just cannot keep the temperature. It looks pretty summery. As the leader has a bit of trouble out of the elbow. Is that the elbow? No. getting my corner names wrong. But this game has seasons, and in the winter season is massively dramatic in terms of like ambient temperatures and track temperatures. I made a little video touching on that previously, just how different the seasons can be in terms of track temperatures. So leaders had trouble. I'm having trouble. And, you know, I mean, this race is just blown wide open, but just I can't do any more than this. I'm just struggling to hang on to it. And like I said, every single lap, I mean, just outbreaking myself into there, and it's just a compound of problems. That's it. You know, the tires lose heat, so you have to go slower, and because you're going slower, they lose heat because you know you're not really pushing them to generate the heat, and all you do is a downward spiral from there. So we're gonna just skip forward a little bit now until we get to a bit of action, and I think one of the bravest overtakes I've ever seen in sim racing. So yeah, another treacherous lap in the books, and as you can see in the mirrors, I've been caught by the Texaco car who was spun around on the second lap, I think it was. He was leading this race and he's obviously caught back up, so this guy's super quick. I've still got my problems with my cold tyres, and we're having to head through the mountain, and you know, these conditions were really difficult, but I really like the personal challenge of trying to drive around them problems. So although it was kind of a difficult race because of, you know, not having the right tyre pressures, but I did enjoy it still, I must admit. So coming through here, is this the Skyway? I really should learn these names. I get a little deep. I'm on the dirt there, and it opens the inside. He has a look. I'm sliding the rear end. Slight contact, but I've got the inside line for the double right, so we're going to shut that door down. But it's kind of only a matter of time now before he's past us, I feel. Going through this section as well, I'm kind of lifting a little bit earlier than you'd expect because of my problems, and you just never know if the guy behind knows this. He's just caught you out of nowhere, right? He's on it, he's flying, and then he's gonna come up against me who's lifting in a silly place, and you can kind of end up having an accident through no real fault of your own or your opponent. You know, is coming up on you, he thinks everyone lifts at a similar point, and yeah, you're not. But down into here, I had a bit of a mistake, and he kind of half looked, so I thought, you know what, I'll just give him it, open it up, and let him by. Maybe he can help us, you know, get in onto the leader. We've talked about this many times with ACC, of using somebody else to sort of close a gap you've not been able to. But then I get this like unbelievable run. I don't really want to overtake him, but whether he was slow or what, I don't know, but I got this crazy run down the inside, so I kind of half send it. I'm on the absolute limit, and he sticks it around the outside of me, gets the inside for the chase, and just absolute job done. And in the car, that might not look that impressive, but in the car on that day, it was just one of the most impressive overtakes I've ever seen. And kudos for not causing an incident, really, because I was on the absolute limit. Again, we talked about the problem, so I kind of half went into that corner. I didn't really want to overtake him. I had no business really sliding down the inside like that, and I only gave him just enough room on the outside there, and he stuck it. Absolute kudos to him for that. I think the lobby ended pretty soon after the race, so I didn't get a chance to congratulate him. So if you're watching this, yeah, it was just super impressive, honestly. It really was. And yeah, now he goes off in search of the leader, and I continue with my tyre problems. And that was about where the race ended, really. I think I finished third on the road, and behind these two cleared off after this. But it was, again, you know, it was a really good, I think I touched a wall there. It was a really good personal challenge with this track. These cars normally are, but and obviously with the, I mean, look at it. I mean, it's it's awful, but you're having to manage everything, and you kind of, it's similar to wet driving where you're never quite sure how much grip you're going to have going into any one corner, and it's not quick, but as just an exercise, as a practice. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I feel like, I don't want to talk down ACC, but AMS2 with some of its car choices like this, it just opens up this a little more dynamic driving style. So I kind of use AMS for that, and then go to ACC with that knowledge, knowing that the cars are a little more compliant in ACC, and you know, not like this where they're absolutely wild at every corner. But again, it's all part of that practice. And yeah, from what was a random lobby joining on, I think it was like Tuesday afternoon or something, I don't know, joined a random race. Learned a lot about having the right tyre pressures, even for just a random lobby. Just make sure in the practice or qualifying you take note and get those dialed in, because you never know when it's going to affect you. But if not, then I went a lot deep. But watch this back, it's a bit horrible. But yeah, just, you know, if you do get it wrong, or you make a mistake in a race, you wrong tyre pressure, wrong setup, just drive what you've got and commit to that personal challenge, and you never know what you'll take from it. So yeah, I love this race. And big update for AMS2 coming out soon as well, with version 1.4, I believe. So look out for that. And yeah, as I slide my way around another lap, I'll see you soon.